seen this for Tyler all year, obviously, just not on this stage and to this scale. Does anything surprise you anymore when he comes up this big?
You know, at this point, we're past that. You know, he's not a rookie anymore, and you know, we need his skill set. Does that mean it's going to translate into that kind of point production every night? No, it doesn't. I mean, we're not necessarily built like that. It's different guys and contributions from a lot of different guys, but Boston was jamming up as they tend to do, you know, first, second, sometimes third options out of what we're looking for. And Tyler was able to generate a lot of offense, you know, on random situations, which you need against a very good defense.
Did you have any initial anything on Bam?
I don't right now. He's just got a lot of ice on his body, you know, and that's where we are right now. Everybody's earning their ice.
Ira Winderman.
Erik, so just to double check, is there an injury to Bam, or is it just a bruise or something that needs icing before we get back to Friday's game?
Right now.
Just icing. So no MRI or X-ray or anything to this point. Just the way this game played out, you went to a much tighter rotation than we're used to. What was the thought on that? Was it having 3 games before? Was it matchups? Obviously played smaller. You played smaller. Sort of what's the thought? 1 with Solomon Hill, 2 7-man approach.
I think both teams are doing whatever they feel is necessary at this point. You have 2 highly competitive teams. There's not a lot of margin for error either way. Hayward does change the dynamic, obviously. We went with this rotation tonight, but it's whatever's necessary, you know, for the next game. But there are a lot of guys that, you know, contributed to this.
Jeff Zilgett.
Erik, when someone makes 14 field goals, there's going to be obviously some big buckets, but it seems that many of his, especially in the second half, were pretty timely.
Yeah.
What did you make of the when he made them and how he made them?
Yeah, the context, obviously, the context of those makes, you know, are the big separators in this league. And those are pressure shots where we had to step up against a really good defense. He was making plays at the end of the clock, you know, and that's a skill set that he has. He can create off the dribble, and you know they can jam you up, and you need guys that can break the defense down and create opportunities that you don't necessarily see that are there.
Rachel Nichols.
Erik, you've been in this situation before, 1 game from the NBA Finals, and you have some players who have the but a lot of guys on your team haven't. What kind of advice or instructions do you give them so they don't get ahead of themselves?
Yeah, like tonight, just try to get your minds off of it. We have a team that I think everybody sees that we're pretty tight. So I don't want them to wind up, you know, tonight, you know, or tomorrow. But ultimately, it's about being present. You know, we know what to expect, you know, for this next game. Very much like we saw in Game 3.
Anthony Chang.
So I know the Celtics kind of got going there in the fourth quarter, but I know defense was a big talking point. What did you like on that end of the court? What you guys were able to do better on defense, especially in the zone?
You know, except for some rebound opportunities that we had, it just allowed us to, you know, I don't know. I have to get to the film. You know, there's some points of it I thought we were giving up too many easy looks, but they have great offensive firepower. So regardless of whether you're in the man or zone, you're going to have to be scrambling, making multiple efforts. There are no shortcuts at this point. You're going to have to do tough things. In the second half, we had a lot of guys that were doing tougher things, more efforts than we did in Game 3, and that's probably going to have to be 10x in the next game.
Vince Goodwill.
Erik, it seems by and large that these 4 games have been played on your terms, the pace of the game, the style of the game. Do you feel like your players are doing a good job of, or a better job than expected of, maybe whether they're playing well or not, but playing the game on your terms, the way that you want it to be played, game plan and adjustments?
Coaches must be crazy, because I'm thinking, no, we're not playing on our terms. Game 3 was on their terms almost exclusively, and certain parts of other games. But it's competition. You just got to figure it out and find a way to grind a win at the end by any means necessary. Tonight was an example of that. You had a lot of guys that contributed, a lot of guys that put their fingerprints on it, not just from the offensive end, defensively making a lot of efforts. And Bam was tremendous on the offensive glass, giving us some extra possessions there. Jimmy got just a big relief pull-up jumper. Gorn hit that big 3, and Tyler was generating a ton of offense for us in that second half. But you need that. You're going to need probably even more of that the next game.
Dan Wojcicki?
Hey, Spo. When you guys drafted Tyler here, did you know you'd be able to trust him? You started him in the first game this year. He played in your rotation all season. When did you know that he was going to be somebody that you could throw into the fire?
Yeah, I don't know. I know everybody's looking for that signature moment. That would be such a great story, right? I knew that day that he would be this guy. No, I think everybody overestimates what you can do in a day, and they underestimate what you can do in months of work and sweat and grind when nobody's watching. He is relentless with his work ethic. Nobody was paying attention to us during the year. He had a lot of tough moments. He did. He had some moments where it was up and down, and learning about our demands on defense. But he is a worker, and he shows up the next day trying to get better every single day. And these are those incremental improvements every single day, and he earns the trust. I think it's more important in earning the trust of his teammates than it is the coaching staff. But it's that daily grind when nobody's watching, and doing it when most people don't.
Mark Schwartz?
Erik, Tyler's on a very short list of players who, at the age of 20, have scored 37 points on this kind of stage. Other than his work ethic and his great skill set that you've talked about, what is it about who he is as a human being that allowed him to perform at this level against this defense on this stage?
Mark, you know how we are. We're all going to absolutely crush him tomorrow to keep him humble. But I say that kiddingly, because he has a great competitive humility about him. He has a confidence. He has a fearlessness that is uncommon, but he's humble enough to work, to be coachable, to take the mentorship from the veteran players that we have on our team. And he just continues to gain more confidence as we go. I think the second training camp here, I think was a big benefit to him, because it felt like he was going into his second year in many ways.